13-14. We're going to take a look at 1313, and you guys are just going to be amazed. We have such a small amount of data that's provided, and the question is very innocuous. Determine the regression equation and determine the value of y hat when x is 7. And look at all the stuff that I have to figure that out. Goodness gracious. Let's get started. So anyhow, let's go back and take a look at the first question is determine the determine the regression equation. And that's the same one. It's called the general form of linear regression equation, which is on page 442. So right, kind of in the middle there. So it simply says that that's equal to y hat equals a plus b times x. Well, let's see, how do I figure out what b and a are? I just got to go a little bit lower. B is equal to r. Remember, r is my correlation coefficient, okay, times the standard deviation of y divided by the standard deviation of x. And these should, this one and this one, don't even pay any attention to this yet, but this is that correlation formula then that we've used and that we can find just by doing the data analysis. Let's do that really quick. Data analysis, correlation. Okay, here's my data, that I want to use. I want labels. It is in columns. I'm going to put my output range is, let's put it right here. Okay, click OK. And I'm overwriting just because I've already had it there. So there we go. So my R is simply equal to that. So now I know what my R is. So can I figure out B? Well, I can if I figure out my standard deviation for each of these, which, remember, this we did with the descriptive statistics. And so again, real quick, we'll go through that. Data analysis and descriptive statistics. Okay. Here's my range. Awesome. It is in columns. I do want rows or labels because I've got my X and my Y up there. I am going to just put this in a new worksheet because I've got it down below, and then I can delete that easily. And make sure we click on the summary statistics. And so click OK, and I get that, right? And that's going to be the same as I have down here. Okay. So now I've got my standard deviations, and so I can calculate my B, right? My B is equal to my, let's see, R, which I got here, times, and I'm going to need parentheses, my standard deviation of Y divided by my standard deviation of X. In parentheses, and there we go. So 3.63. Now, if I go up to the top of page 443, I can, I hope, calculate my A, right? Because my A then is simply equal to, the mean of Y, which I have up here, right? That was just my averages of Y, minus B times my average of X, or my mean of X. Okay, so A is equal to mean of Y, 5.8, minus, and I'm going to need parentheses, B, which I just calculated, times my mean of X. So 3.767123, la-da-da. Okay, so we'll go back to that general equation then. It says my y hat is equal to A plus B times X. And all that's saying is this. A then is, I'm going to answer for my question A, is equal to y hat. Okay, so I've got that. I'm calling it y hat because I don't know how to put the little doodad over top of the y. It's easier. Is equal to 3.76, or A, right, my A, plus B, which is 0.363, times X. And that's all they want for A, right? They just want you to leave the X in there. But then B says, it asks, so what happens if X is equal to 7? So instead of having an X here, we'd say 3.6, or 0.363 times 7. So we'd have, this is simply equal to our A, plus parentheses B times 7 in parentheses, and hit enter, and there we have it. And what's all that mean? Well, I did a little scatter plot here, and I'm going to make it a little bigger and just kind of show you. Well, our intercept, when we calculated that, or A value there, the general form of linear regression equation, it tells you where, if x were 0, right, x were 0, where is that going to cross the y-axis? Okay, and so imagine, you know, and you can do some of these charts where it will actually put in the line here. So, but our line's kind of like that, isn't it? It would be like that. It's positive correlation, we can tell that. Okay, it's fairly strong positive correlation, we can tell that. Okay, and our line would be there. So if x were 0 in this formula, then it's going to cross the y-axis at 3.76, you know, about 3.8. So about right there. Does that look about right? Yeah, something like that. And then where x is 7, in this case, if we came over here to x is 7, then the y value should be about 6.3, or about there. Does that look about right? Yeah. So really, that's all that that's telling us. So it allows us to determine, you know, where on that plot, you know, we would anticipate some values to end up. Okay. Now, can we do, and we'll be using this, and so I just kind of got it here, can we do another deal that gives us some more information? Sure. We can do this regression analysis, and we'll do that. It gives us what our A is, and then it also gives us what our X is. Okay, just exactly like we determined. It also gives us what our R is, so it allows us to make this a little bit easier, you know, but it's not much easier really than doing the correlation and the descriptive statistics, but it also gives us p-values, t-values, and things like that that we're going to be using. And so how do we do that? Yeah, just real quickly, again, it's data analysis. Let's click on regression. Okay. And my y range, now this time I have to be, because my y is my dependent, okay, and that doesn't mean anything here, it says x and y, and so it makes it pretty easy for us, but my y is my dependent. When we get into summing, we might have to make that determination. Labels, yeah, don't worry about the confidence interval because we don't care about that. I'm just going to put it in a new workbook. I don't need residuals, I had that, but I don't need those. And I think we're okay. Click OK, and it gives us this type of output, which is very, very similar, right? It's the same exactly as what I got on the other one, right? I hope it's the same. Yeah. Intercept, la-da-da. My multiple R should be the same as my R, which is 0.7522, 0.7522426. Is that what I came up with on this new one? I hope so. Yeah. 0.75225, right? Okay, it gives us some more information that we don't need right now, but that we're going to be using. But here's my y-intercept, and here's my not my x, but my b, right? Yep, this is my b, or my slope. I'm sorry, that should be my slope. So there you have it, 13-14.